Welcome to the Knoc Knef podcast. I'm Nicodemus.
Knef CEO.
Today, let's talk about the college NCAA inadequacies for the men and the women. The men have these elaborate weight rooms at their Final Four facilities, or not even just the Final Four facilities, at their tournament facilities. Mm-hmm. The women, in the beginning, had a rack of dumbbells, while the men's area looked like 24-hour fitness.
This is a huge problem. This is a huge
problem.
Women's basketball has grown substantially with the WNBA.
And with the exposure,
Yeah, the exposure. And now, they're on basketball 2K, has a whole women's thing on it. WNBA, sponsorships, shoe deals, Wheaties boxes. Like, these women are not to be trifled with.
No, but then, let's still talk about there's still inadequacies. Yeah, the salaries are lower. Mm-hmm. Part of that is because the viewership is lower.
Yeah.
But my thing is still, some of the players up until last year still couldn't make a living wage to be able to stay and just play here in America. They still had to go play on the off season overseas to make their money.
That's true.
So there's always been inadequacy, or I would say not inadequacy. I'm saying an uneven playing field for women and men when it comes to sports. But in that sport, where let's take in consideration, the women have always won the Olympics.
Yeah.
Never lost, never had to create a dream team, none of that. The women have always won the Olympics in basketball. So why should they be treated so secondhand when it comes to this?
I think when it comes to big money industries, I think when it comes to NBA and WNBA, obviously NBA viewership has been
bigger,
years and years and years, and been developing multiple different superstars coming out and developing. So the money in that industry is going to be bigger. We got that. When it comes to college sports, they're just college athletes.
That's it.
Like, I didn't understand when I saw what their gym was, what the men's gym was versus what the women's gym was. My first thought was like, why can't they just go in there and work out with the dudes?
They're not in the same place.
So then that came up. Then I was like, okay, well, they're not in the same place. Okay. So then I'm like, there has to be a gym somewhere around there that these women can all work out in, to give them at least something. You gonna give them literally a open, because at first NCAA came out and said that there was only so much room. When that athlete went in there and showed the weights and then panned around the whole room, I don't know if you ever been in a hotel banquet hall.
Yeah.
Imagine a hotel banquet hall with one table.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally what it was. She panned around the whole banquet hall, and it was nothing but room. They could have literally put full court basketball courts in there to have them to play in.
And then you see the men.
Wrong. And then you see the men's, and the men's looks like a 24-hour. They got
a 24-hour
squat racks,
fitness,
drop weights.
They got at least 10 squat racks. They got weights. They got about 10 benches. They got machines. Mm-hmm. They got all this stuff, and the women had a bench and a rack of dumbbells.
And it was on the rack only went to I think it went to 25. I think it was 2s, 5s, 10s, 12s.
That shit was embarrassing, bro.
20s and 25. Yeah. And you got it's not just one person. It's not like an in-home thing.
Not even just that. It's not even just one facility. The men, the way they do it is there's 4 different facilities for these basketball playoffs. And so there's a West region, East region, South region, North region. Each facility for the men had equivalent to a 24-hour fitness in it. The women's facilities didn't have one. It didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
It looked worse than a gym at a hotel.
How do you fix that?
For one, is it Title IX or Title 14, whatever it is, was supposed to been fixed that. It was supposed to fix the inequalities between men and women's sports. But it's obvious what they're doing with the money, the TV money and everything else,
Yeah.
they're not doing it evenly for the two.
So here's a question, and this is a question that I've asked multiple people. I'm going to ask you, do you think they should ban the NCAA? Disband it?
No. I think it should be regulated better. I think when it comes to sports like football and all of that, all this Power 5 and all of this, especially like in basketball that's being shown in this tournament. It don't matter how big the school is. It matters how good the talent is.
Yeah.
We're watching all these mid-major and low-level schools beat all of these big schools now.
Yeah.
And it's funny because going into this tournament, me and my wife we were having a discussion, and I told her, watch, in this tournament, you're going to see so many big schools get beat by these smaller schools because of, one, COVID-19, and because of, two, now you see what schools really have talent.
Yeah.
Because a lot of your superstars, that kids that are going to the NBA, kind of opted out of this season.
Yeah, that's true.
So now a lot of schools on the same playing field. And then you got schools like Kentucky, who were historically powerhouses that haven't looked good this year. Kentucky, Duke, a lot of these schools didn't look good this season.
Yeah. It's hard. I mean, I think that I always have this back and forth about the NCAA. I think sometimes they do good things. Overall, they probably do good things, but there's things about them that I just do not like. Part of me feels like certain schools should just leave and create their own.
I don't feel that at all, but I feel because to me it's still, if these schools leave, then it's a bigger exploitation of the kids that go to those schools. Yeah, they're gonna get a bigger reward from going to those schools, but they're still getting exploited. These schools are still making money off these kids, and these kids aren't getting paid.
So you
these
think the best thing is to have an overall umbrella over it, but treat the kids better?
And treat the kids better, and treat all schools kind of pretty much evenly across the board. The Dukes in the North Carolina shouldn't be treated better than the San Diego State. You take in consideration Kawhi from San Diego State, Michael Jordan, who was from North Carolina. Kawhi got how many rings?
I mean, I get it. I just think that when these smaller schools, the opportunity for these smaller schools now, because now the playing feels a little more even, they have a greater opportunity. Yeah. But overall, it's like the Lakers. The Lakers will always have great talent.
Yeah.
Milwaukee has talent now, but how?
It's one of those things where, because of the name and the prestige and the history of certain places, talent's always going to gravitate
true.
there.
That's true.
But, now you get to see, you think Grand Canyon University made it to the second round of the tournament.
Yeah, that's true.
You think. I watched the game the other day. North Texas beat somebody. North Texas had never won a game in the tournament.
I just saw that, yeah.
And they beat like a number 2 or 3 seed. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, now we're seeing where the school's talent gets to shine over all the pomp and hype of all these other schools.
Well, that being said, we both feel like these women, we both have daughters, so we know that women should have the equal opportunity, equal, ample opportunity to do the same things as my son should do.
Yeah.
If he's lifting weights and she wants to lift weights, let her lift weights.
Yeah, especially when these schools have these elaborate weight programs, because you had to explain to me how.
Yeah.
Kids, I was like, why they got weights at the tournament? They're supposed to be when they're peaking. And you're like, no, they finish games and go and work out. And I'm like,
basketball now with AAU ball and off season and these cats training the way they do, it never ends. It's like football. Like, we're so used to seeing football and so used to seeing these cats just work out.
Yeah, but I ain't never seen dudes in football finish a game and walk in there and start working out.
I mean, it's a different game. Yeah. But we see LeBron. LeBron will go in there and finish a game, and then he'll go do workout, and go shower and go home. Yeah, or Steph will go out there and shoot 100 shots and bounce. Kobe used to do it all the time. He was known for it, especially if he had a bad game.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a different time. It's a different era now.
Yeah, and we're starting to see where now they need to start giving these women their props and making sure that their facilities are just as good as the men. Because to keep it 100% honest, women play a better brand of basketball than men do.
All right, so to piggyback on our, women's basketball inequality thing, there's a movie that's coming out that my daughter is excited to see, actually. Space Jam 2.
Space Jam 2 with LeBron James.
With LeBron James. I hope Jordan's in it, but it has LeBron. LeBron is the main character. And I don't know if you know any of the background of the story, but it's about him and his son. His son's in the movie too. Mm-hmm. And it's about his son not wanting to play basketball and wanting to do something else. And LeBron trying to get him to play what he wants him to do, doing what he wants him to do. Mm-hmm. That's the foundation of the story.
See, I didn't know that was the foundation of the story.
So in the story, there's two characters that I really want to talk about. The first one, to piggyback on this women's thing, is Lola Bunny.
Lola Bunny.
We all know what Lola Bunny looked like in the last Space Jam. She was the hot commodity.
She was the sexy vixen.
She was the sexy vixen that Bugs Bunny had his eye. All the players had their eyes popping out, looking at Lola Bunny coming there, spinning the ball up, on her finger and dribbling between her legs.
The pretty time girl.
100%.
Skylar Dickens.
They didn't make Lola Bunny look like that anymore. They made her look like the athletic basketball player that we all know and love.
She has a basketball shirt on.
Yeah,
she doesn't have a crop top on showing boobie.
How do you feel about them changing her look for this movie? Do you have any feelings on it? And how do you feel about the people who have feelings on it?
Let's say it like this. And for the sake of political correctness, I think they did the right job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because my thing is, women are always being sexualized. All of us do it. Men do it. Women do it. Everybody does it. Yeah. But men do it. And all things have been sexualized for the purpose of men. Let's keep it 100. Because women would like actual depictions of what they are. Mm-hmm. Men always have to make them a little more sexy or a little more this, a little more that, to make it so that men will want to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have no problem with it.
I have two minds of it. Do I think that Lola Bunny could have been in the movie the way she was? Yeah. Do I think it would have made any difference? No. There are, voluptuous women that play basketball. There are athletic women who are beautiful, who are, you know what I'm saying? There are those women, but there are those same players that don't have those assets, who will dog a lot of dudes out here. Yeah. So I think either way is good. I just think it's weird that people care as much as they do. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it's weird that they're remaking this movie and people of my age who grew up on Space Jam are really so concerned that Lola Bunny don't have double D's, hips and ass. Like,
I understand, but see, that's what I'm saying. I'm fine with it. To make her look like the way an athlete looks.
Yeah, I mean, I you know what, and I think it's a better depiction, because I think if a woman or if a girl sees her look like that, then she doesn't have to try to be this other thing.
Right. Because my thing is, because now you have athletic women expressing themselves. Yeah. You see beauty shots of Serena Williams you see beauty shots of Liz Cambage. You see beauty shots of Hope Solo and all of these different women athletes. There's nothing wrong with that, but the fact that, my thing is, young girls shouldn't be pressured into thinking that they have to be sexy on the court.
Yeah.
Or I have to look a certain way while I'm playing my sport. You shouldn't. You're playing your sport. You look the way you want to look.
It's absolutely, and I think we need to get away from making women feel like they always have to be done up.
True.
Like,
I don't like makeup like that.
It's nothing. It's nothing for me. I love for a female to be at the supermarket on a Sunday in a hoodie, in sweats, and her hair in a bun, no Uggs, but rocking what she's gonna rock.
Well, see,
You know
my
what I'm
thing
saying?
is,
And looking good.
I've never been a fan of makeup like that. So my thing is, even growing up, all the women I dated, I liked women with, women that were naturally just beautiful.
I think
because your natural beauty is what you truly are.
But I'm saying I would rather have that than have a person be like, oh, I got to get up and put my face on.
Yeah.
Every single time. Like, be gorgeous who you are.
Yeah.
Be gorgeous when you get out of the shower when you ain't got no makeup on. That's what you're gonna be doing when you're on the basketball court. Especially if you giving buckets to dudes.
Yeah, okay, well let's move in. Okay, I understand we're talking about Lola Bunny, but let's move into the other character.
Pepe Le Pew.
Pepe Le Pew. Darlene, come into the cat's bar.
Look, I have an issue with the people who care about Pepe Le Pew being in this movie.
Here's the thing. I don't care what you say. I've taken a poll with women. And women have always thought Pepe Le Pew was a creeper.
He is a creeper.
So my thing is, why are people getting upset that they're pulling him? And then, too, I have a French partner who has always despised Pepe Le Pew because it makes it seem like all French men are creepers.
It's frustrating to me because people are like, oh, they're canceling Pepe Le Pew. Pepe Le Pew's gross. Like, I went on YouTube and I was watching some Pepe Le Pew. Pepe Le Pew, if Pepe Le Pew lived in your neighborhood, he would have a trench coat on and a hat. And no clothes under.
Or like, this is something else you said before. If Pepe Le Pew was trying to get at your daughter, the way he gets at those cats in his shows, you'd be offended. You'd be wanting him put away in jail.
Imagine that dude. Imagine the little boy at your daughter's school hugging on your daughter the way Pepe Le Pew was hugging on a cat. Hearts coming out.
Darlene.
Why are people so upset at this? It bothers me enough to sit there and address this because I've heard multiple people say, oh, he needs to be in the movie. Do you care that much? Yeah, I don't.
That, and then, it's...
I guess you don't, but I guess it goes on the same lines of like 007. People think 007 is white. 007 is a character. It doesn't matter if he's white or black or Asian. It doesn't matter if Spider-Man is white or black or Asian. It doesn't matter. He's a character.
No, it shouldn't matter. But the biggest problem is you kind of get locked in when you've seen something forever. Because I can't. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Because I can't lie. I remember when Will Smith played Jim West in the Wild Wild West. I was kind of upset with that because I grew up watching the Wild Wild West, and Jim West was a white dude with swag. So yeah, but then we have this other side. But then I understood it, and it was good. It was good. Once I got out of my feelings about my love for the original show, the whole fact that they even thought about redoing the character and making him into a black dude, I felt great about that because now we're at this point we were starting to see black heroes and action heroes on TV.
Well, it's just like and in film. It's just like not Old Blue Eyes. What's the other old Western guy? John Wayne.
Racist Supreme.
Not John Wayne. The character of the Lone Ranger was based off of Bass Reeves, who was a black bounty hunter back in the day. And so, to go along with your Will Smith thing, they switch people all the time. They can do it. But people get so upset that the person that they envisioned, 007, who's been a white British guy, English guy for forever, is now possibly going to be taken over by Idris Elba, who's a black British guy.
It's going to be taken over by a black female.
By a female. But actually, it's not. She's going to be the second. There's going to be 2 007s.
But he was the person that pretty much English people and black people wanted to see play the role because he's the most popular Englishman of the time right now. And he was considered a few years ago one of the most sexiest men in the world.
Absolutely.
And so they wanted him to be it, and whoever the dude that was directing it said he was too much of a thug type to be
you know what?
That's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole different subject right there. That's typecasting like a mother. But they're gonna be real mad when Superman gets played by Creed, Michael B. Jordan. They're gonna be real hot about that. That's gonna be a bad. The Reddit, the blogs are gonna be on fire because of that. And
also when DC introduces the Black Wonder Woman.
Yeah, her sister. Yeah. So we can change and interchange these characters, just like we can get rid of these characters. I don't care about Pepe Le Pew. He was never one of my favorite characters on Looney Tunes anyway. Never. Right?
No, he's annoying.
Plus, I mean, look, it's like if they came out with Roger Rabbit again.
Would Lola Bunny still be the sexy vixen she was?
You know, with Lola Bunny, or they came out with Roger Rabbit and what's her name in the red dress?
Not Lola Bunny. What was her name?
Jessica Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit. Jessica Rabbit. Name.
You have Jessica Rabbit, who all of us knew was the one.
Jessica Rabbit was Mae West, Marilyn Monroe, and Melissa Ford, all
put together. You know, here's the thing. Did you know that's the only movie that Disney characters and Warner Brothers characters have been the same?
No,
in the same
movie.
Know that. And not only that is the two main characters. The only way Warner Brothers will put their characters in the movie is if they got equal screen time with Disney characters. So if you watch that movie, Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse are all in the same scenes, and Daffy Duck and Donald Duck are all in the same scenes because they had to have their main characters had the same exact screen time, and that's why.
That was beautiful though.
You like that?
Yeah.
It's a little knowledge that nobody cares about, but hey, now you know.
Motherfucker needs to go on
fucking
Jeopardy.
The more you know. But that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these characters, yes, we grew up on, but a lot of these characters probably we don't need them. We don't need to see a lot of this stuff.
No, but then there's characters you can't do away with, like Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Even though people want to say this might be racist, that might be racist, but then you take away the representation. I've never seen where Speedy Gonzalez did something that was super racist or super negative.
Yeah.
And so my thing is, you take away that character, you take away the representation of Hispanic people.
Do you tweak the character and make it less?
I say you tweak the character and make it more realistic, and you make sure you don't have him looking dumb, sounding dumb, and you give it more depth. I think that's what they need to do.
Jumping memes all the time.
I think you need to do that with all the characters. Now that we're doing this thing with, we're trying to be politically correct on how we present people. Mm-hmm. I think we need to do that on all the characters, on all the cartoons and everything, all the stereotypes that were ever put out there. They need to be corrected.
You said something in the last podcast about redoing a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's a perfect description on what we need to do. I mean, we have to have representation of all these different characters. I mean, we have to have representation of all of us as a people. Mm-hmm. And these cartoon characters kind of make us bigger, caricatures. They are bigger caricatures of who we are as a people.
Yeah.
Right? So Speedy Gonzalez, as far as Hispanics, whoever else, Tasmanian Devil, Roadrunner, I'm sure they have a representation of something.
Mm-hmm.
But, to sit there and just be upset and be mad that these characters are being removed because Pepe Le Pew's a creep. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to put Pepe Le Pew in there and change it so he's not oogling and rubbing on these women or rubbing on these cats and making it look like it was okay, because you got to think, a lot of us looked at that and was like, oh, maybe that's how, as a kid,
that's how you supposed
to. You want to be up there and try to be Pepe Le Pew in school, try to hunch on a girl, and then what? Get kicked all the way out.
And see now, you can get a pedophile jacket or a sex offender jacket in elementary school.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different time now.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of these things we have to just let it go. It's not that big of a deal. It's really not that big of a deal.
It's
not
doing
really
nothing for your life, so why you worried about it?
Exactly. It ain't making you money. It ain't causing you health problems. You just mad over what? Nothing. Canceled shows get canceled all the time. Literally off the TV that you probably miss, but you move on. Yeah. Life goes on. Anyway, that's Neff.
Thank you for tuning in, y'all.
Till next time.